Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode number 4 of the See You Next Thursday podcast. We are back, and today we are talking about embarrassing moments, the social versus antisocial, and fake vegans and veggies. Jenny, do you want to kick us off with any embarrassing moments you might have had? Anything's happened
Yeah,
to you recently?
yeah. This goes back to like 10 years ago, quite close to 10 years ago. And Rob, you don't know this, I don't think I've ever told you this. I was on my way to work into London, and when you commute back then, obviously before COVID, or even now, actually, it's just super busy on the trains, and especially if you're coming from like East Croydon, it's just like a race to try and get in the train. Not even a seat, don't even bother thinking about a seat. It's just trying to get in. It was a challenge. So anyway, I was commuting early in the morning. I managed to get like a little corner space next to the disabled toilets. So I stood like leaning against the side of it, not the door, but just the side of the whole big bit of the disabled toilet. And then I started feeling a little bit dizzy, like a little bit lightheaded. Because
Oh no.
when you're inside, you're like rushing to get a train, and then you feel really hot and bothered. And then this was during winter time, anyways. And then you go into a train, it's really hot. I was like, oh shit, I feel like I'm gonna faint. And I often faint when I'm on a train, just because I think it's just the
Yeah.
stress of it. I don't know why. So I started getting like, oh my god, I think I'm gonna faint, and I actually collapsed on
Oh
the train.
dear. Bloody hell.
Yeah, and the next thing I woke up, I was fine again. Like, so I'm pretty sure someone came to my rescue or like gave me some
Yeah.
water. I had no idea what happened in the whole train journey, and it's what takes about 20 minutes, 25 minutes from East Croydon into like London Victoria. Throughout that whole journey, I was completely like blanked out. Had no idea what the fuck happened, and then I woke up. And then I started like just finding my feet, and then everyone was like, "Are you okay? Okay." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine, I'm fine." And then I got off the train, and I started feeling something was a bit uncomfortable in my pants.
Oh my God, no. Ugh.
So I didn't know. I was like, "Oh, it must be just the sweat," because I was sweating a lot when I like
Yeah,
woke up from painting and stuff.
yeah.
Got to the office, um, went to the toilet. I realised I shat myself,
What the hell?
mate.
That is
I
bad.
was like, "Shit!" I actually shat myself, and at the time I couldn't smell anything, because I just woke up. Just my senses came back alive. But I felt really uncomfortable down there. I was like, oh, something scratching me there. Or maybe I just like sat down, and when I collapsed and I sat on the floor, I hurt my bum. Couldn't believe it. I looked at my pants, the mannequin, like, shit. I actually shat my pants. Just rank. Proper
That
rank.
is that is bad. Did you go home after that? You must have.
No.
Or you just stuck it out. Oh my God.
I couldn't tell my colleagues about it. They'd be like,
I
oh
would have
mate, I
just
shat my pants.
I would have just walked out silently. Say you had an emergency at home. That's-
I could have, yeah. I think it's just I don't know what I was thinking. I should have just gone home. But I just like I quickly wiped as much as I could. But all day I was wearing shitty pants all
Yeah.
day. But luckily, no one could smell like sewage smell, because at the time it was quite like a small little office. It wasn't like a massive office, open office, but I'm pretty sure you would have been able to smell something. But yeah, it's just weird because my body just, I think the body just collapses, doesn't it? And it just
Yeah. Lose all your
gave up.
inhibitions. God. It's horrendous.
So yeah, that's probably the most embarrassing thing that's happened to me.
Well, at least you kind of weren't there for half of it in mind. People were
Yeah.
probably embarrassed for you.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
I do wonder whether anyone realised I had shat myself, and
Maybe they just thought someone farted a little bit. No, that's a bit.
yeah, I must have farted before I actually pooed.
God. And now you're telling everyone on this pod.
Yeah, that's the most embarrassing thing that's happened to me. Yeah, I just the thought of it now makes me cringe. Like, fuck, can't believe I sat in
Yeah.
like my shit stained pants all day.
Ugh.
Good,
Yeah.
I didn't kind of like see. I didn't like soak through to my like trousers or jeans. It
That's
might have, but
yeah, on the inside. Just
yeah.
little brown skin. Jesus Christ.
Anywho, moving on to your one.
See, mine. I don't get embarrassed easy, but I'll get embarrassed over the stupid things. So, for example, I don't know. I might, if I'm presenting something at work, for example, if I trip on my words even slightly, I'll go bright red, and I always go bright red over little shit like that, and I hate it. Similar thing happened to me though back in school, not when I was a full grown adult. Walking to primary school, I I still know, you have your morning shit, but I just
Yeah.
didn't have it. Walking to school, got to the gates, and just shat myself. Had to run all the way back in tears. I think this was primary school, but it's like quite late on, so I must have been about 10.
Yeah.
But this is like what, 21 years ago now. So I'm just trying to think if there's any other embarrassing moments. Like even this morning, I was at the gym, and it's a machine where it's quite high up to reach the bar. So you
Yeah.
sat down, but you literally have to stand up to grab it, even for me. Um, but I don't know what I was thinking. I just got up, tried to grab it, and just completely missed it. And I've fallen off the chair onto my ass, basically like against this wall. It's not one of those I could style off, so I've just sort of, and I know the bloke next to me has seen it, but he's carrying on like he hasn't. But I just looked at him, I'm like, fuck's sake, it's too early for this, isn't it? And he's done the old headphone out. Oh yeah, yeah, mate. Yeah. Well, I
Oh,
was surprised he
and
wasn't that embarrassed. I kind of just given up by that point. I'm like,
yeah.
everyone's clearly seen it. So
Yeah. Yeah. You can't style it out.
yeah, so that's one of them. I haven't had something embarrassing to me happen to me for a while, and that was embarrassing. Um, but yeah, in terms of the most embarrassing thing, I'm sure it's probably happened when I'm drunk. And I probably don't remember it.
Yeah.
I remember I
Your
went on
mates
holiday.
probably would.
Oh, when I went on holiday years ago, remember this back in probably 2080. When did I graduate from sixth form? God, that was years ago now. Why am I saying 2018? It's like 2008.
Yeah, you ain't young, bro.
I know, yeah. Sorry, yeah, 2009 probably. We went to Kos in Greece, and it's one
Yes.
of these shitty club nights where it is a water party, not even like a foam party. It's a water party. And
What's a
looking back,
water party?
oh, looking back, it was ridiculous. Like they literally just fired bloody water around the room out of these like hoses, and it just made the floor just completely slippery and just it was freezing. It was horrendous. And looking back, it was a terrible night. But obviously, my mates, being my mates, obviously you're freezing. I don't know if guys when they're cold, things shrink a bit. So yeah, in swimming trunks, guys just decided to yank my swimming trunks down, and I'm just there, starkers, in this club, full of people, and then I don't know what the bouncer thought was happening, but I think he thought I was doing it on purpose. So I've got my
Get your willy
bloody
out.
no, I've got boxers or whatever swimming trunks by my ankles, and the bouncer's trying to pull me out. So I'm literally getting dragged out, starkers of this club, basically thrown in the street. Like, mate, what's going on here? Yeah, that wasn't. It went from 0 to 100 really quick because obviously they just went yank. I'm like, shit, what's going on? I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, no. That was
But you were
embarrassing.
awake enough for that to happen.
Yeah, because you suddenly sober up very quickly. All your adrenaline kicks in. You're like, dun,
Yeah.
dun, dun, oh no, I'm naked in the club. I promise you, I'm not a weirdo. Um, yeah, that was embarrassing. That was what I
How old
was.
are you?
I was probably 18 at the time. So just as I'm
Okay.
starting to like transition into an adult, got the world in front of me, and it's all
Yeah.
snatched away in that one moment. Luckily, back in the day, I know it makes me sound even older. No one really had phones like we do
I was
now.
gonna ask.
Yeah, so no one managed to get a recording of it, thank God. Not that they would have seen
Right.
much. Jesus. Um, yeah, God, it was horrible. Shit night.
Good God.
Yeah.
Have you had any similar sort of situations since then?
Well, my pants pulled down. No, thank God, no. It's kind of a thing blokes do when they're younger, I think, especially in like football environments or things, because it's easier to just yank down in jogging bottoms than it is a pair
Yeah.
of jeans. Um,
Animals.
I know,
Animals.
it's scary, man. You gotta be careful around your mates. So I'm quite glad I only have a small circle of friends, because if I had like a group of like 15 lads, God, I'll be on edge every time. I just wouldn't go out, just stay in,
No. You'll
stop
be naked
working.
all the time.
Yeah, that's the
Catch a
rugby.
cold.
Yeah, I think that's more the rugby vibe though. They do weird shit.
Oh,
There's some
okay.
stories
Fair
there.
enough.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, I reckon I'm just remembering that, so that must be one of the most embarrassing things.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I think weirdly, but for me, I feel like I similar to you, I get embarrassed quite easily. There's something like if I trip up or something, or like if I say a certain thing that's like wrong, if I'm at work and I'm presenting, I get embarrassed easily. It's not
Mm,
like, I would say anything silly. It's just like just the fear and the anxiety. But Simon is never embarrassed. He's got really thick skin.
Is
Like he very rarely gets embarrassed. I get embarrassed by him sometimes with the things that he does.
Yeah.
And because he's just very like he's very sort of like blunt, couldn't give zero fucks about anything. So he'll speak his mind. And sometimes they're just like, this is so awkward, this is really embarrassing. But for him, he doesn't realise. Like he doesn't realise he's been embarrassing.
That's good though. That's the best way to be because
Is it?
yeah, because if you show weakness, people pick up on that. I think I hate that.
Yeah.
Like, when you get embarrassed, you just feel your face going red. It's the worst feeling.
Yeah.
You try and hide it, you're like that,
Yeah.
and then oh yeah, it's just, and you know people are staring at it, and then someone calls out, oh, "Why are you wearing red for?" And like,
Yeah.
and
Makes it
then by
worse.
that point, you're like a bloody tomato.
Yeah.
So yeah,
So
prefer.
interesting. What I've learned about this in the first sort of 5 minutes is we have a lot of shit stories, physical shit stories.
Yeah, hopefully other people have that as well. Please share us in the comments. You can stay
Yeah.
anonymous if you want.
Yeah. Have you shat yourself?
Yeah, I'm sure everyone has. I
Yeah,
remember
I think so.
I remember a kid shat himself at school once, and he never lived it down. I think they called him shitty pants for like a year. It's just I'm sure people have some terrible stories.
Yeah. Yeah. Would love to hear. So share.
Yeah, let us know.
All right. So that
On,
was our embarrassing moments.
yep. On to the social versus the antisocial.
Yes.
So Jenny sees me as a very social person. I don't think I'm that sociable. I just like to go out occasionally. Um, Whereas Jenny says she doesn't go out that much, but I think she goes out more than me. But not in a. It's a different type of going out. So I go out for drinks. Jenny goes out for sing-alongs with the kids.
Yeah. It's very different the way that we socialize. I socialize because of my kids. I have no choice but to bring Lara to rhyme time, and I always invite Rob. And Rob's like, "Nah, I'm good. I got errands to
Yeah,
do."
busy. Sorry.
Whereas Rob actually, he goes out, he socializes with friends, like he watches football every week, right? Every weekend.
Pretty much.
Like you have your social life, like you and Chi, like despite being parents, it is doable. And clearly, you guys have shown me that you can have a life outside of just being a parent. For me, I'm just always like, oh, shit, what am I gonna do? Who's gonna look after me? Who's gonna look after Lara? And I think maybe I think too much about it. And it ends up being like, oh, I forget it. It's too much. It's too much hassle to kind of arrange childcare. Oh, I can't be asked to go out. Oh, I'm too tired. So there's always an excuse for me not to go out.
Mm.
Whereas for you, because you already know that every weekend this is what I'm going to do, and then she will go out during the weekdays.
Yeah, our calendar. If you looked at it now, it's stacked up for like the next 4 or 5 months. So we kind of got a clear idea of what's coming up. So it's kind of easy to ask mum and dad if we need them to help out. But yeah, my weekend's kind of my thing. 'Cause football normally falls on the weekend, and then she will go to work on like Monday, Thursday, or something, and then she'll just stay out with work.
Mm,
I'll just stay home with Harry. It's pretty easy that way. But yeah, I don't know. It hasn't really stopped since Harry's born though. We haven't. Neither of us have really given up much social life. Like she still goes out quite a lot.
yeah,
Um, I still go out quite a lot. But I like it as well because it's something to look forward to. I can't stand staying in on a weekend. I just hate it. Even if it's to go out with she and Harry, it's great.
yeah,
But that's half the reason I've bought. Like, 'cause I go to football quite a lot. But it's the only real thing I do. I don't really have. I don't go and play golf or like go to the cinema or things like that.
yeah,
So it's kind of just. Whereas when I was younger, we were going out from like every Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and
yeah,
then maybe the odd midweek thing. But then obviously once you have a kid, you have to slow down a bit. Um,
yeah,
yeah, one day a week I think is pretty reasonable. I think.
yeah. That's why I like. I think it's interesting to discuss the way that we socialize because it's completely different.
Yeah.
And you're socializing because you need it to have your own life, right? And
Mm.
whereas I wish I could do more of that, but it's now it's like 4 years into being a parent. I'm just like, why haven't I been doing that? Like I probably would have been. I would have been happier if at the start, like just being that like being a parent shouldn't mean that you kind of don't have a social life, and kind of sad that I don't have a social life. Like even like seeing friends, I barely see them, and their parents as well. But
Mm.
sometimes they would go out and like have a night out and something. I'm like, oh, I wish I had that too. But then mentally, I'm just like, oh, I'm just tired. I don't want to go out. Like how, like what tips have you got for parents or parents to be or new parents? How, yeah, to continue your social life when you're a parent.
I mean, it's kind of different for me because all my mates don't have kids, so I think that
Mm,
helps a bit.
yeah,
Although I still feel like I do a lot of the organising. Um, I don't know. It's I think a lot of it helps that you actually got to want to do it. Um,
yeah,
if you actually want to socialise and go out, then that helps
yeah,
a lot. Because
yeah,
I think a lot of it came with uh, lockdown as well. I think because we were stuck in the flat for so long and we didn't actually get to go out. I actually really like going out now because it's something different. And I never really went back to the office. Um, I remember working in the office, I was more inclined staying on the weekend because I was
mm,
going into London every day, 5 days a week. Then you might end
yeah,
up just staying it back for drinks on a Thursday, for
yeah,
example, or Friday. So that made me more inclined to stay. Whereas now I'm at an age where I'm kind of living for the weekend almost. Sad to say,
yeah,
um, but that's the way it is. Because otherwise, I'll just be indoors 7 days a week, and I can't really
yeah,
do that. As long as you get out at some points, I'll go to the gym as well, which is fine. That's not
yeah,
really socializing. That's just a hobby. Um, but the football side of things, I mean, it's not a cheap hobby either. You got to be willing to.
yeah,
Like, you can just go to a cafe and see your mates or a pub, whatever. But the football is expensive. It's an expensive hobby to have. Uh,
yeah.
but yeah, you just got to want to do it, I guess. If you're not that
What
bothered.
about date nights? Do you often have date nights with Chi?
Uh, Not really. I mean, we have the odd one every now and again.
Yeah,
Um, but even that's tough because it's either she's out or I'm out or Harry's in, so we can't really go out. And we can't really take him out at the moment because he's just a nightmare unless he's asleep,
yeah,
which is just like chance. Um,
yeah,
but we have the odd date night, and if we do, we just ask mum and dad. So, but then we feel bad asking them a lot of the time because then it
yeah,
means they got to give up their
yeah,
evening or their weekend. So if it's every now and again, it's fine, but
yeah,
it's not that often really. So yeah, just be more social. That's what I'm saying.
yeah, yeah. Like, yeah, I think, yeah, you make a good point. Is that you have to want to do
Mm.
it. Like if like constantly me telling myself, oh, it's too tired. I think of excuses, and sometimes it's too many excuses. By that time, I'm like, oh, I'm exhausted. Don't want to do it. So if I continue like that, I'm never gonna do it. Never gonna go out.
Yeah, yeah. And then you find your friends won't message you, so
Mm,
message your mates.
yeah,
More of the story.
true. Yeah. Yeah. The next one. Fake vegans and veggies.
Yeah.
Now, for those who don't know, I'm vegetarian. My whole family's vegetarian, bar Simon and my brother-in-law. I've been a veggie for about 25 years, so quite a long time. And quite often I get asked, "Is oh you're vegetarian? Ah, cool. Do you eat fish?" And in the back of my head, I'm always like, "Fuck off," because like, at what point did being a vegetarian mean that you also eat fish? Like being a vegetarian, you don't eat anything that moves like an animal. Like,
Mm,
all right, like meat. I don't eat meat. I don't eat fish. And this whole term of pescatarianism, where the
yeah,
fuck did that come? You know?
yeah. Because it's like fish is still also farmed for food, right? In a bad way a lot of the time.
Yeah,
So it's the same
yeah.
principle, right?
It's a living thing.
Yeah.
So when someone asks me, "Oh yeah, you're vegetarian, cool, but do you eat fish?" Like, no. Like, stop asking a vegetarian if they eat fish because they don't. And if they do, they're not a real vegan or a vegetarian.
Mm.
And one of my mates actually has friends who are vegans slash vegetarians, but they eat meat.
What?
So it's like that defeats the whole purpose of being a vegan slash vegetarian, right?
Yeah.
It's just weird. Like, since when did we start making up our own rules?
Well, it's like most things these days, isn't it? People just make up things. make up genders, things like that. So you've got to be a bit flexible with these things these days, haven't you? So,
Yeah.
but my missus is doing Lent, no meat for 40 days. She's like,
Yeah.
still eating fish. So she's not vegetarian; she's pescatarian for 40 days.
Right. Right.
But her reasoning isn't affected by because she cares about animals so much. It's just that she wants to see if it has any health benefits, or for example, because we eat a lot of meat, like we'll have it with everything pretty much. So I guess
Yeah.
it's kind of it's only 40 days, it's not forever. So see how that goes. But yeah, I get what you mean. It must be frustrating. I never have that issue, so I can't relate to it.
No.
But I would be one of those people that probably ask that question. But do you eat fish?
Would you?
Well, I don't know, because I know so many people that do eat fish and say they're vegetarian. So I just assume, oh, it must be like is that a thing with vegetarianism where you eat some fish as well? Um,
Mm.
I don't know. I've only known a couple of vegans really, and they seem to take it fairly seriously. Actually, no, one ate cheese, so I guess no, it kind of
Oh.
defeats the object of that.
Yeah.
They don't seem like super guilty about it.
Right.
I
Have
don't know
they
if
been vegan for long?
yeah, I think pretty much like their whole lives, pretty much,
Oh. Okay.
because their parents were or something. I don't know. But I guess it kind of relates to other things as well. Like I know people who are Muslim are not supposed to eat pork and things like that,
Yeah.
but they still eat it every now
Not
and
allowed to
again.
drink. Yeah.
Yeah, but they still drink, not allowed to gamble. See, I used to work in a bookies, and you get Muslim guys coming all the time. So it's like, I guess it's kind of, if people aren't that bothered by it, I guess
Yeah.
they'll still do it anyway. But then you can't call people fake, I guess, because they might get offended. So
Yeah. Well, for us, this is titled Fake Vegans and Vegetarians.
yeah,
So if you're a fake vegan or vegetarian, I mean, let us know
yeah,
why you call yourself a vegan if you eat cheese. You
yeah. Do
know?
you ever indulge in a bacon sandwich when no one's looking?
Yeah.
I do feel guilty, or do you just like, it's whatever in it?
Yeah. I mean, there's no sort of like, I mean, maybe it's a cool thing to be calling yourself a vegan or vegetarian. It's like, is it trending? Is that what kids do these days?
I don't know. If you didn't know if you saw yesterday, there was a protest in I think it's near Covent Garden of like the anonymous masks from
Yeah.
V for Vendetta. They were wearing those, and they were standing there with iPads showing videos of like chicks and things, just with
Yeah.
those battery farm things.
Yeah.
But there was like a gathering of YouTube pranksters around them, and
Right.
there's one bloke with the the Frankfurter sausages.
Yeah.
He was going around putting them in their pockets. I thought it was pretty funny, to be fair. But, and then but they were getting so arsy. Not even just with the YouTubers, they were just asking questions like, "Oh, I like meat, but." And shit like that. They were just going, "Oh, they don't like meat. We can't eat that. It's really bad. Look at these."
Mm.
And it's almost like a lot of the time it's their way or no way.
Yeah.
Um, especially like with this the Greta Thunberg and protect the planet, things like that. But some people just don't care. Some people just aren't. Shouldn't force it down people's throats if
Yeah.
they don't want to do it. Some people can't afford to be vegan. Being vegan is expensive. Like you go
Yeah.
down the one aisle, the sort of section they have in most Tesco and stuff. And it's like it's great. It's like double the price of most
Yeah.
normal things. So some people can't even afford to do it if they wanted to.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. There's gonna
That's
be
a good
more and more
point.
people. Yeah, there'll be more and more people doing it, I think. But I, but we're talking like minorities here. I reckon barely. There must be like out of the population, there must be barely about 1% that are vegan. Surely, I can't.
Mm.
Probably more vegetarian. I reckon probably about 10-15%. But I think realistically, majority are going to be meat eaters, aren't they?
Yeah. Yeah. It's a good point that you mentioned about the whole like the whole preaching to someone. Like I'm a vegetarian, but I don't think I've ever convinced you or tried to preach to you like,
No.
oh Rob, I think you should be a vegetarian as well. Like, oh, you should convert. That's that's not what I'm gonna do. And I think that I've been a veggie for 25 years because my family, they were the first ones to convert to being a veggie because they're quite
Mm.
religious. Um, and for me, I was too young at the time. I kind of just went along with it. I think I was the last one in the family to convert. I used
Mm.
to love meat. Like Chinese people eat anything that moves, man. Legit,
Yeah, I know.
as
Yeah.
you know, right? So it's like for me to convert, and I know I was only young at the time, but I used to love eating like like those roast ducks.
Oh,
I used to
yeah,
eat
yeah.
the head of it.
Oh,
You think there's not much meat to it, but there is a bit of meat to like the head.
yeah. It's like
I
chicken
was
feet and
nasty,
stuff
man.
like
Yeah, I was a proper like just animal. I used to love eating meat. So for me to convert to being like vegetarian, that's a big thing. And I think I just didn't know anything else now. I'm just so used to being a veggie. I can't imagine being a meat eater again. But then again, it's like my parents are the sort that would preach
that. Mm.
quite heavily
Yeah.
to someone being a vegetarian. They would, I think they see obviously health benefits and whatnot. Uh, but it's kind of like, well, stay in your lane, innit? Like, if
Mm.
someone doesn't want to be a vegetarian or vegan, just let them be. You
Yeah.
don't have to tell them, oh, you shouldn't eat meat, you shouldn't drink alcohol, it's not good for you, or you can have cancer, all that stuff. And no one wants to hear that.
Mm.
It's just a little bit annoying.
Yeah. The preachiness of anything, whether it's that, whether it's religion, whether it's gender types, where all that sort of stuff. It's just becoming more common now. I think
Mm,
people feel like because they've got a view, they've got a platform to do it, right? So you can do it on
yeah,
socials and things like that. So, but yeah, I know what you mean. That's the one thing that puts people off the most. I think.
yeah, yeah. Because what you mentioned about the vegans and the how holding stuff about animals being slaughtered and stuff, they did that ages ago, and they might still be doing it. They go to supermarkets, all these vegans, like proper
Yeah,
like
yeah,
protesting, like following people around, like, oh, you shouldn't buy this, you shouldn't buy that. It's like, well, that's really hard for people to, if they want to convert and they see people like you kind of just being really assholes about it, they're
yeah,
like, oh,
exactly.
I don't want to be it.
Yeah, yeah. It's like the just stop oil thing as well. Same sort of shit, right?
Yes.
Don't block the
Yeah.
roads up, and then people might actually
Yeah.
support you. Right.
Yeah.
So
There's ways of doing it, and that's not the
yeah,
way.
exactly. But they're like, oh, we need to do forceful things. No, you don't. Don't
No,
annoy people.
no.
You get no support.
Um, so we did find an article about vegans.
It's hilarious.
It was pretty funny. So there was a passenger who was flying business class on Japan airline, and he's a vegan slash vegetarian. Not entirely clear. They just said vegan slash vegetarian, and he ordered a vegan breakfast, and he gets given a single banana with a pair of chopsticks.
So good.
Initially, the traveler was like, "Oh, cool, this is just a snack," but it turns out it was an entire meal. That was his meal. A lot of people were like cracking up, saying, "Haha, you got a banana for breakfast." And this passenger was obviously a bit pissed off about, "Oh, where's the rest of my meal? I ordered an actual meal, and I'm flying business class." So he was probably expecting an actual meal, which is fair enough, right? And
Yeah,
then he said for lunch he got like barely seasoned spaghetti. But a lot of people commenting about it saying, one thing you forgot to mention is like you're in Japan and they've given you a banana, so that probably costed you like a £30 for a banana because fruit in Japan is so good, but also really fucking expensive. So
mm.
people are like, I don't know what you're complaining about. It's probably like a £30 banana, so enjoy it. And people are like, oh, yeah, looks like a fairly decent banana, but I don't know, man. Like if I pay business class and I got banana for a meal, I'll get pissed off.
Oh yeah, of course. A fucking banana, solitary
Yeah,
banana. That's like it's just you'd be annoyed if you were a normal person, not even just a vegan
yeah,
or
yeah.
vegetarian. Um, it's funny though. If you could see the photo, he's literally taking a photo on his tray. Yeah, you get like a meal, like maybe a yogurt pot, a drink, and something else. He's literally just got a plate of banana on it, and like a little glass of wine or something. Oh, so good. Yeah,
Yeah. So I think they apologized, but clearly it shows that this airline doesn't get what veganism is about. And to be honest, a lot of Asian countries don't. They don't get it.
yeah. I mean, it's fair enough. Maybe it'll catch up in a few years, but
Mm.
I think they're still. I have an example of where so my mate's wedding, he had the standard like three courses or whatever, and then it got to the dessert, and I can't remember what the dessert was. It was really nice there, whatever it was. But it was really fancy looking and like decent. But obviously, it wasn't vegetarian, vegan friendly. And the table we were sharing with, a group of girls, I think 2 of them were vegan, and
Right.
they literally just got a pot of fruit, like a couple of raspberries and strawberries, and they were absolutely fuming. They were literally looking at it down their nose like, "Oh, classic." The vegans get given just a bowl of fruit. They haven't thought
Yeah.
about it at all. But I'm like, well, you made a choice, so what are you gonna get?
Yeah.
Fruit.
Yeah. I know. It's hard. Yeah. Yeah. It's still. I think it's still got a long way to go for the rest of the world to kind of understand what vegans
Yeah, because I think
eat.
it's an effort for. I can imagine it's a lot of effort for chefs, for example. If you're making a massive batch
Mm,
meal, like, especially for a wedding, and you've got
yeah.
30 odd meals that are all meat, well, not non-vegan friendly, then you got one that's vegan, but that's like gonna take half your time. You're like, "Ugh,
Yeah.
of course you're
And
gonna
you
start
can't
running."
touch it. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
you
I
got to
imagine
do
you can't touch
different.
the same pots and pans.
Yeah, different things, different everything. So yeah, I think it's just a tough one, isn't it?
Yeah. Do you think you could ever be a vegan or a vegetarian?
Uh, what about eat fish as well? Um, no, I don't think I could. There's
Mm,
just not enough options when I'm out and about, I don't think. And if there is, it's like double the price of.
yeah.
Like, I wouldn't go to McDonald's and buy a. What did McPlant? Nah, there's no point. And that's definitely cooked in the same shit as all the other
Yeah. I'm pretty
burgers and
sure it
stuff.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's I don't have that strong a view on. I know it sounds bad, on animal cruelty and things like that, because you just
Mm.
don't see it. And I mean, I have seen videos of it, but maybe I just need some brainwashing. I don't know.
Would that put you off though? Like if you went into like, say for example, you went to like a slaughterhouse and you saw how like pigs were, would that change your mind? Convert you?
I have no idea. Maybe.
Mm,
Um, I mean, I'm not going to find out. I'm not going to go there and find out.
no,
But
no.
I mean, you can stay oblivious to it if you need to. But it's like everything, right?
Yeah,
You could say that about your clothes you wear. They're all made in China, Vietnam, wherever, in sweatshops. Their probably conditions are probably as bad as some of
yeah,
these farmhouses. So, but that I mean, the vegans don't wear those sort of clothes, do they? They have to wear their own,
yeah. No leather and yeah,
yeah,
whatever
hand
they
knitted in
wear.
England, whatever. So, it's once you start one thing, like food, you have to move on to everything else.
That's
Um,
true.
like you cut out your way your TV was made. I also have no TV, or like, uh,
Yeah,
I don't know. It's hard. Slippery slope. Not worth it.
it is. Yeah,
Mm.
fair, 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 fair. And that concludes this week's episode.
Sure does. Remember to follow us, like and comment, and please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you very much. Bye bye.
Bye.